Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spilling the Tea. And now here's your host, narrating you. Hello there, I hope you're all doing alright today. Welcome to this week's episode of Spilling the Tea, a show where we interview Rec Room creators. Don't forget all shows are filmed live and put on YouTube, so don't worry if you miss one. On today's show we will be interviewing the Foggy Golem, Rec Room's #1 talk show host who you can find at Pillow Talk, Rec Room's most popular talk show. So the last part of our shows will have a Q&A segment, and I know you're all sat there thinking, but excuse me man with a funny accent, how do I ask these questions? Well, my good sir/madam, if you have any questions for tonight's guest, please hop into the Broken Circuits Discord and put them in the Spilling the Tea channel. The link's on front of the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Foggy Golem.
Oh, let me just scoot back. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was getting orders for the folks. I got in the way. I hit the button. I'm so sorry. Let me go get Foggy for you. Give me just a...
I'm very sorry about that, folks. I'm not sure what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Foggy Golem.
Hello and welcome. Sorry about that. You know how it is. Lorena was taking our orders. Accident happened. Elbows got pushed. Either way, I wouldn't be here with some of my good friends. It's all right if I bring them up.
I certainly can. Let's bring on the creators of Pillow Talk.
Bring it on up. Give it up for Mr. Sparky and T9. There we go.
There we go. Can we hear everyone? Is everyone mic'd up?
Oh, I don't have a microphone. Sorry. I hope that's okay.
Oh, you're just really loud. That's fair enough then. That's a powerful voice.
Why, thank you. My neighbors don't appreciate it, but as long as we can hear it, everything's fine.
Oh, as long as it pays the bills. Oh, yeah, help yourself to coffee, guys. I know it's spilling the tea, but unfortunately Rec Room doesn't really have tea, so it's coffee for everyone.
I think they had boba tea for like a week, and then no one picked it up, and now we're just back to coffee. You know how it is, folks. Hope you enjoy those caffeine jitters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have one bubble tea saved up, and I am not sharing it with everyone. That thing is like gold now.
Oh, absolutely. Likewise. But enough about spilling that tea. I hear we're here to spill some tea about Pillow Talk, myself, my team, and, well, what have you got for us?
What have I got? Well, now at Pillow Talk you do things a little bit differently from us. You kind of bring up random members of the audience, which we're not brave enough to do because, in all honesty, they're all animals. Feral animals. Yes, I am talking about you guys
Supremo,
out there.
Right over there, but we'll worry about that later.
Mm-hmm. So, tell me, how do you tame these guests and get them on stage?
When it comes to taming your audience, you're definitely going to want to set some ground rules, so to speak, but do what you can to control the chaos. You're going to have folks out there making sure that you find the ones that are looking for trouble and keep a good eye on them. Otherwise, if you bring up someone who has every intention of repeating slurs or something of that sort, they're already on top of it, making sure that they don't get too far with their ideas. And not to mention, like you said, they're animals. They have baser instincts, and it kind of reveals what they're trying to do in the first place. We're on to you, kids.
We know. We do know. They're all sat out there looking very guilty at the moment.
Like Sleepy over here, who's been following me for the past 3 days. Don't think I haven't noticed.
Following you? Do you get stalkers often? Is that a common thing?
On occasion. Sometimes they'll see me online and just join in with the event sections. And honestly, they're not bothering me. I'm not bothering them. We're just going out having a good time. I haven't had anybody, find out where I live yet, but, checklists. I'm not that famous, so no one's found out where I am yet. We'll get there.
It's true. It's true. And we actually visited Pillow Talk recently. We went to the show on Wednesday. So for the people on YouTube, here's a clip of that.
I understand it that you four are the awesome group that's coming together to carol over at the rec center these days. Mind harmonizing with me and knocking out a Christmas tune?
Of course.
Wonderful. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down.
Never gonna turn around and desert you.
Never gonna.
Make you cry.
Never gonna say goodbye.
Never gonna tell a lion.
And there you have it, folks. Give it up for our holiday carolers.
And that clip
Well,
was amazing, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I remember it like
That
it
was
was
great.
yesterday. It was actually
Me
yesterday,
too.
right? Like the dimensions.
Especially I saw it
Sorry.
through my software. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
hopefully
you
you
were
can see
part of that
yourself in
too,
it.
T. Oh, absolutely. I see myself in everything, but people call that narcissism, so I don't talk about it that much. In the meantime, what other questions have you got for us?
Well, I had so much fun on stage, and I actually managed to avoid the meat grinder heading off, and I was just kind of wondering, how often do you clean that thing?
I thought you turned it on.
But what is this you mean by
I did.
cleaning it?
I swear.
Cleaning it? I mean,
Well,
sometimes
you
you've
didn't
just
put
got
it
to
on.
take a hose and get the juicier bits of the audience off it. Okay.
Sorry,
One
what
of
was
my
the question?
favourite... What was the question? I think we should avoid the meat grinder. I think I crossed into territory I'm not supposed to mention.
No worries. Folks will find
there
out
is
when they
no
come
meat-
out onto the show.
There's no
You
meat
already
grinder.
know, folks.
But one of my favourite segments that you do on the show was the cooking. It's like I had no idea what you could make with the right ingredients, and I love the fact that you eat the stick as well as the marshmallow. Sort of, how often do you have
Absolutely.
people
Like this
handling wood
character
on your
here.
stage?
Now, when it comes to using the cooking segments themselves, it's all about the user creativity, and there's all sorts of things that people create out here on Rec Room. That's the whole point of the platform, isn't it? Being able to make things your own with maker pens, items, and all sorts of things. And turns out, a lot of people don't know that you can actually cook out here on Rec Room. But some people don't know what they're doing in the kitchen sometimes, and, well, fires happen. You know how it goes.
Oh, we do get fires sometimes. It happens. But, as long as they're controlled fires and only the, like, unimportant people die.
Been burned down. Like,
Oh, absolutely. Like unpaid staff and people, like Sleepy over here. But we'll worry about that part later. In the meantime,
Oh, they're doing a lot of whispering.
check the bills and all that stuff. Definitely not sure.
oh,
about the price.
Sam.
T9, Mr. Sparky, did you want to? Oh, right. You know what? You're absolutely right. Let's move on to the next question.
Well, moving on, obviously you have the art segment as well and all that. It's like, how do you decide? When you bring a guest up, how do you think, you know what, this person is the next Picasso. Let's get them to draw a tree.
It's all about observing your audience and seeing what could possibly be inside of their soul. And they presented themselves through what they're wearing, such as Melody over here, who just wants to go back to bed. And unfortunately, we don't have a bed for them to sleep on up on stage, but I hear that's a lot better with parents who have to get a nap time in. Just, hey kids, here's some markers, draw me sleeping. And they actually get some sleep in. But we'll worry about that later when you're older, kiddos.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could do like a late night pillow talk, have a bed, just get everyone in bed and you could all have a snuggle session and
And do some
talk
actual
that way.
pillow talk? No. The
Yeah.
mods will get me the second I try. Don't worry about it.
They've got that part controlled. All right then.
Let's
Well,
just say just the second I do that, the mods are going to come in through the ceiling with laser eyes and just go, we knew you were onto something. I'm just sitting here going, I'm just trying to make jokes.
I feel that. It's I've actually worked live in real life in sort of talk show host situations, and I've seen some interesting
absolutely.
things, especially with the audience. It's that they can get a little bit quite crazy. As I've said, they are feral animals. But
And that's why it's so much better to do it out here in digital world, kind of, or at least in our
yeah,
particular sense, because not only can you control them better, but at the same time, they can be even wilder with what they do to create more, awesome situations to find themselves in. Such as
hmm
Maddox over here, who found themselves married off to Lizzie Busy Wizzy over here. Just an absolutely magical moment that we all adored.
exactly. It's very romantic. Exactly. It's
There's
Rec Room,
this right
bringing
here.
people together. Now,
Forcibly with a grinder. But anyways.
yeah. I mean, that kind of sums it up nicely for Rec Room, I think. It's like bringing people together with a grinder. So, I don't know if anyone's ever told you this before, but you have a really nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I can
Likewise.
sometimes, I mean, I can relate to that because I get it quite a lot whenever I'm out and about. The number one thing people say as they hear me talk is, "Oh my God, you sound like the narrator from the Stanley Parable." How often would you say you get stuff like that?
More often than not, they ask me to please stop pranking them at the drive-thru and have an actual person talk into it, but that is every other week. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the first time I heard your voice, I assumed it was some kind of AI or something. And I was like, "Oh no, he's actually talking. That's a
People
real
keep
person."
saying that. Of course, I'm not an AI, or at least I don't think I am. I like to think that it's just a little bit of practice and several puberties. They always tell you about the first one. They tell you nothing about the ones that come after. So just keep at it, kids, and one day you can sound like me. Especially
Yeah.
Jackson right over here. I know he's waiting for his opportunity.
So is there some kind of special drink you do, or is this au naturel? This is just you as you
Oh
are.
no, this is just me. Myself, uh, what is this? An Oculus 2 that I've had since, the COVID outbreak, and nothing else. Not even a spare microphone to go along with it to amp up anything. No voice changers, no audio boards, not even recording equipment, which is something we're going to be working on for the next year of Pillow Talk, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh wow. So
That's definitely not going to drop our bills.
that's
I
where the
thought it was
money's
in the
going.
budget. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Anyways,
I do. We don't mention budgets here. It's like the mods start getting a bit uppity when we start mentioning money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I
so
know.
it's
Especially when you show up
so
with a new outfit and they're just like, so where's our paycheck?
that's it. I mean, I decided to dress myself up like it a bit today. Make myself look pretty. It's like I put in some effort. I even brushed my hair. So there we go.
It's
All for
very
you,
fitting. You
Foggy.
look wonderful.
Thank you very much, and so do you. You look beautiful as per usual.
Oh, thanks. I try to keep up with the latest fashion sometimes, especially when it comes to my hair, but you know how it is. When it's all
Yeah.
natural like this, it's just,
Oh,
what? It's still up there, right? Oh, I'll be right back.
oh,
Oh,
Mr. Sparky, T9, take over for a second.
um,
Just
I got it. So yeah, back onto Pillow Talk. We have the meat grinders, we have the kitchen, we have the art section. But at the end of the day, it's not us that's providing for the show. It's the people that come to our show that basically makes it continue to run how it is. We rely a lot on improv and then obviously dabble the comedy into it. But improv is our whole show. I've had people come up to us and ask, oh, is it scripted? Do you do this? And honestly, it's usually me, Foggy, and the rest of the directors just chilling in a VC either on Discord or in our dorm room, just saying, hey, what sounds stupid but sounds so funny at the same time? And between me and Foggy just connecting, we come up with the weirdest things in the world. And we're like, all right, we're going to use that for our show. We're going to bring this into our show. And at first, I was the one that actually came up with the segment. So at first, it started out with just simply the living room or the center of the stage with just an open stage with nothing on the left or the right. And when I took ownership in September of last year, I wanted to come up with more of interactable show than just to sit down and talk. So I was like, what if we have segments and follow our comedic behavior and add in things that make no sense? So we added in a kitchen, and the kitchen worked off really well. And everybody asks us
still
because we
is.
call it our recently renovated kitchen. Even though the kitchen's been there for almost 2 years now, it's not recently renovated, but that's the gist of it. And it also is pretty
I don't
cool
know
because
either.
Foggy will tell people to make ramen noodles or like cereal, and I'm spawning in a flintlock, a blunderbuss, a paintball grenade, and it's just how we basically go through and improv. And then we used to have a bathroom segment as well, which was called Toilet Thinking, and Foggy would have people confess the weirdest things that ever happened to them before. And we mess around with a few things, and if things don't work, we go back to old things and we tinker them a bit. But it's just basically how our show works. People love it, so we keep doing it, and it's super, super cool.
It is honestly awesome from everything I've seen. I've actually, when I first started playing Rec Room last year, I was actually on the show when I was like a wee level 15, and I do remember you asking me to narrate to you whilst you were on the toilet, which was, quite an experience. It's the first time
Oh
I've ever
my
had to do
goodness,
that.
I actually remember that. Oh my man. You're the reason I had to replace my chair. Excellent work out there, my man.
I know it's 10,000
Oh, dude,
tokens
what
for a
about
chair.
tokens? Tokens aren't going to get me anything over at Staples. We'll worry about that part later. In the meantime,
No, it's. I feel like the exchange rate on tokens is awful, but would you mind demonstrating some of your talk show abilities? Like, let's see some of this improv in action.
ooh, all right, let's pick a guest out of
Against,
the stands over here.
okay, well,
Let's
let's get a
go ahead and pick somebody.
random member of the audience. Oh, look. Hello there, random member of the audience.
Welcome, Sea of
Hi
Luck.
guys, I'm a random member of the audience.
Yes, you
See, we
are.
want to talk to you about your awesome new upgrades coming to Rec Room. We hear you've got an awesome new product called the Essence of Green Beans, a fragrance for fish. Mind telling us what goes into this particular product?
So we got some beans, some tuna fish, a little bit of
Ooh.
meat from the meat grinder, just
Oh, I knew they were taking some off the top from that grinder. Darn it. All right, Sea of Luck. Let's move on to you specifically, instead of just your work, because we understand it that you had at some time growing up with an extra nostril under your armpit. What was school like for you all those 15 years?
it was pretty smelly. It was very just the boys, they smelled terrible. They needed to shower more. Smelled like onions.
Oh, absolutely. Men, am I right, ladies? Now, see, we have one last question here for you, and this one actually comes over from one of our friends over here, Snuffleupagus, right in the stands, and he wants to know, out of all of your toes, which one is the most ticklish?
My pinky toe, the smallest
And
one, on
there
my
you
right
have it,
foot.
folks. Give it up for Sea of Luck for giving us the real answers tonight.
There we go. Thank you, random audience member.
You're gonna give me that 5-star today, right?
Shoot, yeah, that's fine. Just go away. Later. There we go. Okay.
And she's getting paid, and I'm not getting paid for this? Come on, guys, we're out of here.
Fortunately, there's an invisible barrier, so we're all right for now.
We're trapped.
We are. It's amazing. It's how it goes. So with interviewing people, obviously there's always embarrassing moments. I've been working in it for about 15 years now. I've had a lot of awkward and embarrassing moments. One of which was I interviewed someone from Big Brother on international TV. I forgot her surname. Her name was Lauren Carr or Lauren Carre. I still can't remember to this day, and had to do 3 takes for a live interview. Which,
Oh, goodness.
awkward, embarrassing, not very impressive, but I still got paid, and that's the important thing. What would you say is your most embarrassing moment or moments, your worst nightmares when you bring an audience member up?
Let's see. We actually had something like this quite early on with our recent, did you eat Mr. Sparky again?
Oh, he appears to have,
Things like that. No, I'm kidding. At least when our particular show, we can work in moments like that into the comedy, such as Smeckledorf over here. They have quite the interesting name, and of course, I would get that name wrong 9 times out of 10. So it's just, Smecky Decky, tell us about this new thing that you're working on. Oh, that's great, Bob. But John, we want to know more about you, Dave. But when it comes to things out here on Rec Room specifically, as an interviewing thing in front of a live studio audience, we try to make sure that the nightmares of, getting someone up on stage who's just going to scream slurs and swear words and just shows up and just makes a complete fool of himself. Which is why we have such an upgrade for our security and making sure that we can get them off the stage faster than, well, they can get those out. No, T9, we're not getting them off. We're getting them out of our state. Stop putting words in my mouth.
I mean, you haven't killed anyone in over a week.
You're beautiful. Shut up. Sit there and be beautiful. In the meantime, what was your question?
What was the question? I believe you answered it. It's more with the awkward experience when you bring people up. Obviously, as mentioned, I don't, do you,
We love you too, random floating sign.
what do you think we're not paying you for? Okay, so obviously, we bring on another talk show host, and apparently, my staff just cheer for them, not me. That's fine. I never got a sign.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it narrating. I've been haunted for years, ever since I was working with the SCP Foundation way back when. Just these things, they happen. It's not you, it's me. Just roll with the punches, and you know how it goes. You got to carry on with the show.
That's it. Carry on with the show until afterwards when I fire everybody. But we'll talk about that later.
Out of a cannon into the sun. Please
so with
save
every
your
big
questions until later.
Well, if anyone has any questions, the Discord link is on the front of the stage. If you pop into the Broken Circuits Discord, you can ask them there. We will be doing a Q&A segment later, so that would be the best place for it. So with every big production, there's the pretty faces on stage and the people who actually make it work behind the curtain. In this day and age, it's really hard to find good staff. The camera woman tends to fly around like she owns the place, with signs. Tell me a little bit about the team behind the scenes and what they do. So obviously we have Mr. Sparky, Legacy, Kuiper, Moonwatcher, just to name a few.
Oh, absolutely.
T9.
T9 is one of our head staff. He's been with us since, well, forever, practically when we first started. He's been with us for so long, he knows the ins and outs of Pillow Talk much better than most of us, and at this point, I can find him in the walls without even looking. But when it comes to the rest of the staff, without their help, I wouldn't be able to be up on a stage talking to people. Kuiper was the main man with the vision as is. Before this, I would just go, event hopping, as one does. Before it was all, recruitment maps. I would swing over to various places, find myself a guest, find a couch or something. Just, could I ask you a few questions? Pick out a random person, have them bring up a camera, much like Dr. Aztec over here, and we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and welcome back to Pillow Talk. We're here today with T9, and we're going to be talking about how his foot fungus is going to cure your cancer. So T9, I would get so many people just, hey, but don't worry about it. We'll worry about that part later. We would get so many people walking around us and following us from event to event that I realized that we need to have ourselves a show, but I'm terrible with a maker pen. Wouldn't know how to use it to save my life. This one kid I did this at, this is Kuiper, by the way, he was putting on an event over at what we would call Baby's First Mansion. You know how it goes. It's a square building, a couple of rooms, and a couple of rooms to it. He loved it so much, he dedicated an entire closet to it for me to actually host the show over at his place. And then he started building maps around the idea of Pillow Talk. And so we got to talking, we got to working on various skits. We had several different stages since the ones that we've seen today, with all sorts of ups, all sorts of downs, and of course, Rec Room getting in the way of things. I know you know what I'm talking about, Frosty. You were there for the early go. And ever since then, it's just been refinement, continuing on with what we've got, keeping the show going, and, well, doing what we can to help you feel like the most important people in Rec Room, which is what the show is all about. And without Sparky coming along, lighting the fire, Legacy coming along with his excellent wiring, Moonwatcher making sure everyone stays in line and getting their positions where they need instead of floating up on stage with a random sign while they're invisible. And of course, team members like T9 making sure people don't get up on stage, working the booth, and all sorts of crazy things coming together to make this show, well, the best that we can for you.
Amazing answer. We love it, and it's amazing how well it's come together. Like we mentioned earlier, it's watching the show. It's like a full-on production. Like I really enjoy it genuinely, and everything about it is so funny. And the fact it's all improv as well just shows that you have refined your practice and you've reached the point where it's a second nature now. Obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
Terrific.
At this point, a lot of people could come up with all sorts of different questions, and we'll go over those later, and I can just roll off of anything at this point. Someone's going to come up and ask me if I'm gay, as usual, and to which I'll respond with, darn it, we established this earlier in the season. Watch the episodes. Coach goes over this as well. It's in the COC. It clearly says that I'm ace, but we'll worry about that part later. In the meantime,
It's like, we need the pronouns and sexuality. That is the most important thing. That is what everyone needs to know. Absolutely.
I go
and
by
speaking
he,
of the
him,
Q&A,
and I'm not dating anyone ever.
I like that attitude. I like that attitude a lot. And just letting people know, just one last reminder before we go to it, there is a Discord link at the bottom of the stage. If anyone wants to ask any questions, pop into there and go to the Spilling the Tea channel. And I think one last question from me, what's Pillow Talk got coming up in the future?
Now, you know how we say over at our place, sorry kids, no spoilers this season, but I'm going to spoil a little bit of it for you.
Oh,
Now,
would you
everyone
like
and
the
everyone's been
spoilers?
seeing the awesome things that you can make with Rec Room Studios. And obviously, we're going to be doing our part as well, updating the map, making a whole new auditorium with all sorts of things to find, see, and hopefully collect for you to win all sorts of awesome prizes. But I can't reveal too much further than that, other than if you've got questions, swing over to the current auditorium and ask the cardboard cutout Foggy. He's sure to give you halfway accurate answers. That's between you and him.
No, I have actually done an interview with the cutout Foggy for the trailer, which was quite exciting. It was I was not expecting those answers at all. So there we go.
The cardboard Foggy has over 70 different answers loaded up in there, recorded by myself, of course. So if you've got a question regarding to Pillow Talk or things going on in your life, frame it as a yes or no question, and hopefully Cardboard Foggy can help you too.
I do have to ask, will Cardboard Foggy ever be an invention that people can have in their dorm room so they can just be in the zen?
I definitely need to talk to Legacy about that because he's the main man who not only created the cardboard cutout, but the main wiring behind it to possibly make it up as a invention with its own little button for you to claim while you're over there and get it priced somewhere, 50 or lower for people because we got to make our coin, but at the same time, we want you to have fun, which is why we also want our T-shirts to be, under 1,000. But no, Rec Room wants to have things 1,000 to 3,000 for custom shirts. Just,
It's
I'm not
I
bitter.
do feel
Shut
like
up.
they need to drop the price. But well, there you go. Hopefully, we will be seeing a cutout Foggy in all of our rooms soon. There we have it. Okay.
That's
Well,
right.
let's
There's no
move on to
escaping
the. Oh,
me.
welcome
I'll be
back,
in your
Mr.
rooms.
Sparky.
Wait.
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry, the power got cut out. It's a pretty bad storm going on here, so I
Well,
decided
I just ate
to make it
Oh,
easier to hop on screen.
You know how it
There we
goes,
go.
folks.
That
Always
did not
something.
feel good.
Mhm.
it's only right when it's wrong, or going wrong rather. So, well, let's move on to our Q&A segment. You're back just in time for it, Mr. Sparky. And the first question
Beautiful.
is, will you use the magics of Studio and CV2 to have other sets on stage, like switching the kitchen area into a fighting ring in just the press of a button?
So
That certainly
there
is
has
one of the
been
plans.
there has been minds on adding multiple segments under the map where we'll involve with Studio. Luckily enough, we recently just renovated the map with some Studio. We have a UI, we have imported images, and we want to continue to strive with more Studio in our room because it looks more realistic, it saves ink, but we also want to keep that Maker Pen style inside of our map because that's something in Rec Room that's always been kind of there since day one. But yes, we definitely want to involve Studio in the map and add more segments and make it look more realistic. But there's definitely going to be a lot in the future. I'm super excited.
Oh, there we go. So make sure you keep your eyes on Rec Room, not on Rec Room, on Pillow Talk. There we go. Keep your eyes on Rec Room as well, mind you. This one will be for Foggy. Do you voice act or do shows outside of Rec Room? Do you plan to make this your job?
I would absolutely love it if I could do voice acting as a professional job. I'm currently in the works of trying to set up a Fiverr account to get things started, but when it comes to doing voice work out there in the real world, it's all about who you know, as I'm sure you already know.
Yes, it's very difficult to find work out there. Most of my work stems from health and safety videos, so make sure you wash your hands. But yeah, so there we
Oh,
go. Oh, well,
absolutely. I'll be
hopefully.
sure to ignore that because I need to get these out right now or I'm going to get yelled at again. But we'll worry about that later.
Um, oh, here we go. How did you get your name? Where does the Foggy
I
Golem
love
come
this
from?
story, actually. So back when I
Mhm.
was around your
Classic.
kid's age, I was collecting this miniatures game called Mage Knight. And one particular day, I was walking up to my dad, showing off the various golems that I could collect in there. And there were all sorts. He had tree golems, bone golems, storm golems. And he, without missing a beat, with half his face covered in shaving cream, he points to me and goes, and you'll be the Foggy Golem. Stuck with me ever since.
There we go. And there you have it. You heard it here first, I think. Oh, I like this one. How did you become a star on Rec Room? How did you achieve this level of
Um,
fame?
by accident. Purely by accident. Well, not exactly by accident. You know how it goes, folks. It takes time, it takes dedication, it takes growing. And it all started with, well, the story I told earlier. Back when Kuiper and I first met over at his map, and I was doing my little bit of just entertaining myself and others, heading over to various couches with random guests, and asking them dumb questions. And of course, he loved it so much that he built the maps, and eventually those maps grew. We learned from the maps that mistakes we had in the past. Like we had this particular one that was based off of, what was it, charades? We tried hosting 2 shows in there, couldn't do it. It was 2 frames a second once we got everybody in there. It was awful.
Again, we do have those issues here when the room fills up. It's things can get very laggy, but that is a Rec Room thing, and unfortunately we have no fix for that. But it's how it goes. This next one, I feel like you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but how old are you?
I am at least 14 years old.
At least 14 years old. I mean, the thing is, with Rec Room, I've spoken to people and they've literally like, hello there. And then it's been like, oh, I'm 12 years old. And it's like,
Yup.
oh, okay. So it's
Yup.
very hard to tell by voice. It's like anywhere between 10 and 45. So there we have it. What hobbies do you have outside a Rec Room? This can go out to all of you.
Let's see here. For myself specifically, I'm a gamer at heart, and we're not talking just video games. We're talking tabletop, pen and paper. If it involves dice, moving a character across the board and making things die, I'm all about it, especially when it comes to things like Warhammer 40K, a little bit of, oh, what was I in recently? Well, Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, but it wasn't that specifically. It was called... There it is, Spectre Operations. I'm a huge fan. They just released a new book, and it's all about cutting-edge, modern-day tactical coolness. If you love yourself some Call of Duty, check those guys out, as well as Black Powder Red Earth. They are a magnificent look into modern-day PMCs and how no one's the good guy. But anyways,
I'll have to check
take it
those out
away,
myself.
Mr. Sparky.
Out of Rec Room and kind of like the video game world, I do carpentry and a lot of hands-on work. Music as well is something that I really much like. I listen to music, make music. That's kind of basically really it. And kind of living a boring life, but but living the
Oh,
days
that's all
day by day.
right. As a security-minded would say, boring is best. And T9, what are you doing these days?
Well, I just mostly go to like school and all that. Just been working on a 1990s, I think a Corolla. Like I'm just replacing the engine, trying to fix it.
Very
Ooh.
nice.
So how do you plan on putting the jet engines on there to make it really rev?
Just steal it from the military. It's quite simple, honestly. I don't know how they keep, asking
Who
for
hasn't
security.
stolen a jet from the military? Am I right, kids? I mean, don't do
It's very
that.
simple, like
It's
GTA.
bad.
There we go. So the moral of all of this is steal an aeroplane. That is what I picked up from that. And that's what I'm going to take home with me. What's your favourite song?
Ooh, I have a whole list of things that I love to listen to, and it changes every so often. But I know my favorite artist has to be Weird Al Yankovic, which should come to no surprise to most folk.
We do
The
love
one
a
that
Weird
I've been
Al.
having on repeat as of late has been Metallica's Lexi Turner.
Oh, I was not expecting that actually. I like that. Okay, this one's from Sleepy. I feel like this may be insinuating something, but what's your favorite partnership?
My favorite partnership is the partnership between us and other talk shows and rooms out here on Rec Room. We've got all sorts of characters who love to team up with us for various things, and for the most part, well, nothing actually happens. We just, put posters in each other's rooms, cross references and all that. But eventually, we're going to come together and create something awesome for Rec Room just as soon as the stars align, the people actually get online, we get the technology for it, we get the time for it. And of course, if Bunny's mom would actually call me back. I miss her so much.
One day we'll all come together and form like a megazord of talk shows, and it, be like Power
Outside
Rangers
of
stuff
Bunny's
going on
mom's
out
door, absolutely.
Exactly. Oh. Do you have any tips to get bigger as a creator? So how do people go from a nobody to the Foggy Golem? And well, to Pillow Talk
Oh, goodness
in
gracious.
general.
Well, like I said, it's all about dedication. It's about growing your community and understanding what you can do right, or at least well enough that people can enjoy. And in our particular case, it was definitely doing the improv, telling the jokes, be kind to people. Just do what you can to not get in other people's way, so to speak. Like, I'm not going to go over to, say, Lone Fake over here, go over to their room, invite everybody back over to my room and be a jerk like that. No, 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 no. I want people to come over because they want to come over. I'm not going to steal people. I'm not going to invite all of my friends. I'm going to make sure that this is something that you want and you're going to come over of your own accord. And if you can't make it, that's okay. We've always got more show to show. Every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central. Only I've done that too many times.
It just became your
It never
memory.
gets old. There we go.
Sorry,
Well,
what was
I can't remember now, to be honest with you. I think something about success, but you've already got that, so you don't need to worry about that. It's fine. It's fine. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but our time is almost up. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. It was an absolute pleasure. Do you have anything you would like to tell the people out there on YouTube and in the audience?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, kids, don't let your dreams be memes. No, I'm kidding. Sparky, you have something better.
If you want, join our Discord. If you ever want to hang out with us, all of our shows and information is always in our Discord or in our portfolios as well. Other than that, that's basically it. Thank you so much for coming to this event. And thank you so much narrating you. And then, where's she at? Katie. Wherever Katie's
My
at.
pleasure.
Oh, there she is. Thank you guys so
The
much for
camera
having
lady,
us
she's
out here.
invisible.
It really means a lot. And we appreciate you letting us speak all about what we do out here on Rec Room. And thanks everybody for coming on out and listening to us talk over and over again for a while. But thank you guys. I appreciate it.
It's
And
been an
remember,
absolute
if
pleasure.
you want to get up on stage, simply swing over to Pillow Talk. Saturdays at 1 o'clock Central and Wednesdays at 6 o'clock Central. Only on Rec Room.
6:30 o'clock Central.
6:30 o'clock Central? When did we make that? I'm
6:30
kidding.
o'clock.
6:30 o'clock Central.
You heard
We
it
did
here,
that in the
6:30
meeting.
o'clock. Make sure you all do go, because the shows are hilarious, for sure. And
No,
thank
I
you,
was
Sam.
not
Thank you
invited.
again for coming on, guys. Oh,
Hey, thank you for having us. You've been an absolute
No.
wonder.
no problem at all. And make sure you all go subscribe to these guys. Check out Pillow Talk, where they talk to the most important people in Rec Room. You. Are you a creator on Rec Room? Do you have future projects you would like to share? Do you want to share your Rec Room experiences? Well, come share it on Spilling the Tea. To apply to be on the show, go to the Broken Circuits Discord and message in the Spilling the Tea channel. Thank you all for coming out to watch tonight's show, and thank you to the people watching on YouTube. I'm narrating you, and this has been Spilling the Tea. Bye-bye.
And if you need a voice for those particular rooms, hit me up sometime. I go by Foggy Golem. Oh. All right, the show's over. I can stop doing the voice, right?
Yeah, we can start talking normally now.
You know,
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was going to die there. You all signed the NDA. None of you get to say I'd sound
None of
like
you-
this,
none of you are
especially
allowed to
you,
speak
Trent.
about
I
this.
see you recorded.
Don't worry, I'll just summon him. I would just summon him to the Spooky Talk show and bring the human blender out.
And
It'll
I'm
be
getting ready to
good.
Exactly.
fire Foggy anyways.
So to get off the
boy.
stage, there is a, if you just rub the wall here, it will take you back. There we go.
Ooh, what is this?
We just
Oh, it's
rub
the back.
against this wall right over here, and just now you're just gonna want to T-pose into this for this
Just
speed running
T-pose
hack.
into it. Oh, there we go. And thank you for coming out, guys. Bye-bye.